In the next couple videos, we are gonna build a very simple, very effective, budget-friendly skincare routine. Today, we're gonna start with retinol because I believe that retinol, vitamin A derivative, is the most important ingredient other than sunscreen in anyone's skincare routine. So in today's video, we are gonna talk about why I think you should use retinol, what it's good for, and then I'm gonna tell you exactly how to choose the best retinol at the best price. I will finish the video giving you 3 recommendations because I have searched out and found 3 different retinols that are very budget friendly that completely check all of the boxes. If you are new here, my name is Penny. I'm a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon. I am excited that you're here because we are going to do this budget series. It has been highly requested, and I do know that lots and lots of people would love to build a super duper effective routine, but they don't want to spend big bucks on it. So while you're here, I hope that you will subscribe, and I also hope you'll follow me over on Instagram. I share all kinds of just tidbits about skincare, also a little bit of lifestyle, you know, the fun stuff over there. And then I'm inviting you to please join my private Facebook group. We are almost 30,000 people, but most importantly, it is a super duper kind corner of the internet where people are encouraging to each other and give each other skincare help. So I'll put those links in the description box. Check them out if you can, and let's get started. Okay, first of all, what is retinol? Retinol is a vitamin A derivative, and that just means that we have vitamin A in the prescription form that is Retin-A. You've probably heard about that. You have to get that prescribed by a dermatologist, etc. And that is the active form of vitamin A. Now, over-the-counter products are inactive. So you have retinaldehyde, which is one step down from Retin-A, and then you have retinol, which is one step down from retinaldehyde. So that means that retinol is, yes, weaker than retinaldehyde and weaker than Retin-A, but it's also less irritating than Retin-A, and it's also usually more tolerable, especially if you are just starting out. Now, the inactive versions, retinol and retinaldehyde, just get converted in your skin to the active form. So even though they start out inactive in the bottle, once applied to your skin, there is an enzymatic process that happens that converts them into the active form so that your body can use them to do all of the good things that we're going to talk about. Has to be active in order for your body to use it, but our body does that to retinol. So that's what retinol is. Now, what can it do for you? This is where it gets really good, you guys. Retinol, vitamin A's in general, they can help with your texture. They can help with the appearance of your pores because they shore up your barrier and they improve collagen production, which means that can give the kind of appearance of a more refined skin finish. Because it also helps with collagen production, of course, it's going to help with lines and wrinkles. And then it's also a pigment inhibitor. It can help with hyperpigmentation, dark spots, sun damage, etc. And finally, it can help with speeding up cellular turnover. The reason why that's important is because as we age, for example, I'm 48 years old, and my skin turnover is much slower than it was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was probably every 28 days. I had fresh skin looking out at the world. Now it's probably every 40 days. And so a retinol can actually help speed that back up so that we get this healthy skin continually coming to the surface, and we can kind of reveal brighter, fresher, better textured, less pigmented skin. So that is what retinol can do for you. It is an amazing ingredient that I do think should be in everyone's arsenal. Now, when can you start retinol? You can start retinol in your 20s if you want to. It's relatively weak, and as long as you are diligent with your sunscreen, you can definitely get on retinol early. Okay, so what do you need to look for when you want to get a good retinol? First thing is you want to look for encapsulated retinol. Now, the reason why this is important is because we have this lipid barrier, and that barrier helps to protect our skin and keep things out, and that includes topical stuff that we put on, right? Now, if you apply a product that is encapsulated, that typically means that it's encapsulated in a lipid. So it actually kind of mimics our barrier, allowing for that ingredient to penetrate and get in. Now, where we need retinol to be is past that barrier in order for it to do us some good. So getting an encapsulated retinol will increase its efficacy because it is helping to get it into the skin. It's almost like the Trojan horse, wraps it up and helps get it in past that barrier. The other thing about encapsulation is it can help to stabilize the retinol. And retinol is one of those ingredients, like vitamin C, for example, that is incredibly finicky and does not like light, and it does not like oxygen. So the other thing that you need to look for in your retinol is opaque packaging that is airtight. So if you see retinol in particular in a dropper or in a pot, that's just not as good as if it's in a pump or even one of those pots where you can kind of push up some of the product. That one's good too, because the product inside is not repeatedly getting exposed to oxygen, right? Okay, so how do you apply retinol to avoid irritation? If you are new to applying retinoids in any way, there are a few different ways that you can apply them so that you don't get irritated. The first way that you can do is by applying them every 72 hours or every 3 days to dry skin. So you cleanse your skin, you let it dry for 20 minutes or so, and then you apply your retinol, and then you apply your moisturizer, and you're good to go for bed, right? That's one way that you can do it. Another way that you can do it is the sandwich method. The sandwich method is simply putting a moisturizer on first, then putting your retinol on, and then putting another moisturizer on after that. That is the sandwich method. You can simplify that by putting your moisturizer first and then putting your retinol and not adding the outer layer. That would work too. That's kind of a open face sandwich, if you will. And then the last method that I recommend is kind of a flash method. So you can put your retinol on, leave it on for say 30 minutes, and then you wash it off and you put on some Naturium skincare, hydration, maybe some moisturizer, etc., so that your skin is kind of flashed with the vitamin so that it can start to acclimate, but it doesn't sit on forever. And the way that that works is over time, you increase that time. So the first week, maybe you do it for 30 minutes a night. And then the second week, maybe you bump that to 45 minutes. The third week, maybe go to an hour and 15 minutes, etc., until you get to the point where you find that your skin can tolerate it all night long. And that just slowly acclimates you. So kind of the message here, obviously, is buffering the retinol, whether it's with time or whether it's with products. That's really important. Now, if you're super duper sensitive, you can combine some of these. You could do the sandwich method every 3 days, or you could do the open face sandwich method every 3 days. You kind of get the idea. Put as many of these methods to work for you as you need to get on to a retinoid. It's just really important to ramp up slowly, because the other thing with retinol that's really, really important is that consistency and time is your friend. You aren't going to see results from any retinoid for probably 6 to 9 months. Some people report that they see something happening by month 3, but really what it takes is some faith in what you're doing. Think about the skin turnover. If it does take your skin, like mine, 40 days, let's say, I'm not even going to see fresh skin for 40 days. So that's the very minimum for seeing any improvement at all, right? So I really need to give my skin a few skin cycles before I want to really see some major changes. And so for me, that's definitely going to be, say, 6 months. So most important is consistency and time in. It is a marathon, not a sprint, for sure. Now, I know that there's going to be people out there who cannot tolerate retinol, that have tried and tried and tried and they just can't. And if you have employed all of these methods and you're like, I don't agree with it, that's okay. There are definitely alternatives that you can use that are not retinol that can be helpful, and we will definitely talk about those in another video. One that you can look for is bakuchiol. That's a plant-based retinol alternative that is not vitamin A, but it kind of behaves like vitamin A in the skin. It doesn't have a lot of studies yet, but it's promising and it is an alternative. Now, finally, my 3 recommendations for retinol are going to be, and they're all about the equal playing field. The first is going to be Cerave. Now, I shared about these in my Cerave video. These are great, you guys. My favorite is the one in the blue packaging that is the Resurfacing retinol. And the reason for that is it just has some added ingredients in there that are beneficial to the skin. It has licorice root, and I absolutely love that. they're both really, really good. So either one of these is great. Now this one is about $16 an ounce. It does come in that opaque packaging. It has a pump and it is encapsulated. The other thing that Cerave has is ceramides. Of course, Cerave stands for ceramides. That's what's in here. Ceramides, of course, are really, really helpful for your barrier. And because retinol can sometimes irritate, dry you, that kind of thing, ceramides are really super beneficial to have alongside a retinol. So it checks all of the boxes. The next option is the Naturium Retinol Complex Cream. Now this one is also encapsulated, comes in a pump in an opaque packaging. It is 2.5% retinol, and it's this lightweight, silky cream. It's very, very elegant to use. And I love it because it is that encapsulated retinol, and it also has glycerin and shea and some other really comforting ingredients as well. So it's not in any way irritating or drying. Okay, finally, the last one is by Babyface. This is another one that is encapsulated retinol. It comes in a pump. It is also a very similar to both of them. They all feel very similar. It's a little bit more rich. Also contains ingredients that are nurturing to the skin, has that encapsulated retinol. Now the Babyface is $25. So that's higher on the budget friendly, but it's 1.8 ounces. So it actually comes out to $13.88 an ounce. And the Cerave is only 1 ounce and it's around $16. So actually the Babyface, even though you're paying for more product at once, it is actually more affordable than the Cerave. In fact, of all three of these, the Cerave is the most expensive per ounce, just FYI. So always look at how much you're actually getting, because yeah, it's 25 bucks, but it's gonna last you a lot longer. The one caveat, it comes in a package that's mostly opaque. So you've got opaque here, and right here, a little light could get in, and I suppose right there. So if we wanted to be uber picky, we could say that this has, you know, maybe like 2% of its packaging is not opaque. Really, I don't think that that's a big deal at all, because once you use the product to just the label, then it is basically 99.9% opaque, and I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference at that point, but I wanted you to be aware of that. Like I said, it's in an airtight pump packaging. They do give you the percentage. This one is 2.5% also, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful product. I do like the Naturium and the Babyface a lot because you get more product. So the Naturium is the most affordable per ounce. Then the Babyface is the next affordable per ounce. And then finally, the Cerave is the most expensive per ounce. It's incredibly affordable for the most important aspect of a skincare, a simple skincare routine other than sunscreen. That's really super, super affordable. And because they're all encapsulated and they're in that airtight packaging, they check all of the boxes. I hope that that's helpful for you guys to have some recommendations. I purposely only did 3. I did not want to give you a list of 10 or something like that. So if you have some other recommendations, if you know of other products that check all of those boxes, definitely leave them in the comment section for other people. I would love to hear them. Be on the lookout. Next up is going to be vitamin C cleansers and also moisturizer. We will talk about sunscreen as well, all in the budget realm, so that you can build a truly budget-friendly, minimalistic, effective routine. Absolutely possible. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.